Hey there guys, this is Macy or But for Fun here, and welcome back to another video. Today in this video we're going to be doing a top 5 places to drop in Fortnite. First drop here is going to be the haunted house a little above Pleasant Park. I believe this is a great location and you're about to see why. Just a few seconds after landing I go and I already find a gold scar. That is what I call lucky. And then the second after, I go and find a golden minigun. That's like one of the best guns in the game right now, if y'all do not know. And by the way, guys, here's an extra tip. If you do land here, destroy the little pirate bags of money. They give you like 15 or 16 metal each, and that's very good metal for a one-hit object. Also, if you further travel down to the basement, you can also find sometimes a vending machine that will spawn. And in this case, for me, it did. And of course I got the pump because I needed a shotgun. Another great tip I like to give for this house is once you go outside, there are a few pallets here. As you can see. I believe the pallets give great wood. And if you are hurt or damaged, there's a campfire right there too, just waiting for you. Now you're going to want to head out and mine some trees. They're pretty much covered around the whole place, so don't worry. You can get max wood pretty easily in not too long. And also, there are mushrooms. And I love to use mushrooms here because usually the house is kind of small, so you don't usually get full shield. So yeah. Once you are done looting and harvesting and getting mushrooms or whatever you need to do there, you're going to want to head straight to Pleasant Park. Not directly, but you can kind of scout the edges to see if there's any, free kills, anything you can pick up real quick. Don't be too aggressive, if you're trying to win. Also, do not forget about the vending machine that spawns right to the edge. A lot of people do forget that do land at Pleasant Park, so that can easily give you like a free sniper or a launch pad or whatever sometimes. Now, as you guys are about to see, I do see that this house is unlooted, so I go in for the loot. You should always do that. If you see anything that's unlooted, go in for that loot. It's free loot. Another really good strategy I do like to recommend is using the Storm Scout sniper rifle. If you are going to camp, use it to see the next circle, so you can get a lead up on where you're going to go. So pretty much, guys, I am going to skip ahead here. A lot of this is just me camping in the basement, trying to get the win for you guys, so I can show how easy these wins actually are. So I'll see you guys in a bit. And by the way, peeking through windows is a good strategy. It always works. They never expect it. Trust me on this one. And you know how I was talking about the minigun earlier? Yeah, it completely shreds. Like, it's so easy to kill people. Just watch how easy it is to kill this guy. It's meta, I promise. And as you can see, walking up this hill, I do take extra precautions because there could actually be people already up here. So, you want to claim your territory. And slowly but surely, after I do come up the mountain, as you can see, there is a person and we go into a little build fight, but it's all going to be okay, I promise. I don't ever make promises that I don't keep, and as you can see, this guy completely runs away as I laser him. At this point, I really just did realize that I had a high ground and everything here. So yeah, I was just building up a little fortress. This is what you should always do, and always don't forget to use triangles to peek. It's a really good strategy. Now I am going to skip a little bit ahead here. There are still 3 people left. These people were forced to move up the mountain. It was pretty chaotic. And as we get to the end here, there are still 3 people left, and then one of them dies, so now it's just a 1v1 versus me and this renegade raider. And as you can see at the end here, I am completely out of materials in the 1v1. This guy somehow sees me even though I am standing completely still. And he gets a nice rocket off. But that dumb rocket didn't scare me. And even though he was so cocky, he thought he was going to win. I won. Pretty nice win.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Bam! The finger guns.
Alright guys, so now we are going to be landing at a place for the second drop. It's unnamed, but I call it Vehicle Village just because there's so many freaking vehicles there. Alright guys, so now that we have landed and looted up a bit, I want to show you a quick trick with the vending machine. If you see something you may want, but you see something else in there, just wait till you're done looting and then see what you get so you can pick which item is the best for you. Another really good material strategy I would recommend is breaking all of the fences that do surround this place. They give good metal, and when you do leave this place, I definitely recommend getting a hoverboard. Now that ballers aren't in the game, there used to be tons of ballers here, but yeah, hoverboard always works too. Even though I do know most people hate the mechs, they are a very, very, very good material farming strategy. Even if you don't like to use the rockets or the shotgun on it and be toxic, still use it for the materials. And as you guys can see here, after pretty much looting the majority of Sunny Steps because it was left unlooted, I'm going to go grab my mech and leave. And just a reminder, if you are ever leaving Sunny Steps, remember to enter up this mountain because there can be a vending machine that can spawn here, just like it did for me. And this supply drop did me an RPG, which, yeah, those are always good. And as you guys can see here, using the mech to farm pretty much max wood and instant, it's very good strategy. This does look pretty freaking weird, I'm not gonna lie. So pretty much what happened to me here was very unfortunate, to be honest. I started spraying down the supply drop to get it to come down faster, and this guy just literally was spraying the heck out of me with his minigun. And at the end of the day, I did try to just completely stomp all over this guy with the mech, and it did not work very well for me. So the third drop here is going to be in the desert, John Wick's house. That's what some people call it, because it does look like the actual John Wick's house from the movie. The landing here is pretty safe, and usually you're not going to get anybody to go with you, but if you do, it's probably always going to just be one person. And as you can see here, I did get the mech notification on my screen. I kind of panicked, so I put on this shield. And this guy just completely shows up at my door, and it scared the living crap out of me, I remember. I tried to get in it to destroy, but for some reason the self-destruct button just was not working, so yeah, that was pretty confusing. And I did just end up hiding until this guy went away. Now around John Wick's house are just tons of bushes and trees and rocks and tons of stuff for just great materials that I'd really recommend you chop down before you leave. And also to the right of the house, this truck right here, there are hoverboards that spawn. Another good looting tip, if you are in the zone, when the first zone comes, you can loot the junkyard. It's extra loot and it's pretty safe loot as long as nobody's been there. And that is exactly what I did. I looted the junkyard and then farmed all the materials that are surrounding it. Heavy snipers are definitely worth going to the storm for, trust me. And for some reason, part of Paradise was unlooted too, so I looted that up. And apparently someone also forgot the vending machine, so that's pretty cool. And once it was time to leave Paradise, I did take the Rift. I did end up landing at this house over here and just farming more materials. And while I was just trying to check my map to go to the next circle, I did unfortunately get sniped at, and yeah, that hurt quite a bit. But that is okay because I did have tons of heals. And going back to get a full shield that I left, I encountered this default. He was pretty bad, but... And I ended up killing him, even though I did miss my first shot. Since I was very weak in that last fight, I was just trying to heal up, but this annoying guy would just not leave me alone. And eventually I slipped with my buttons, and he killed me. Now for our third drop here, we are going to be dropping at a little icy cove, a little below Polar Peak. You will know where it is because you will see a huge circle of trees around and then a pit. When dropping down into the pit, I do recommend landing on those tree branches as it does prevent you from taking any fall damage. Now once you are done looting the little downstairs part of the pit, I recommend you leave from the back and gather all the materials. And another quick tip, if you do look down there and you see some loot, you can zoom in and see exactly what it is, so you don't have to go all the way down there. Now once you do head straight up, there is a little shack right here, which usually has a chest or sometimes two, I'm not quite sure if I remember. And there is also a vending machine that does spawn on. And once you do get out of the pit, right about where you landed, there are tons of trees you can get for pretty easy max wood. And also do not forget to loot all of the shacks. They all have tons of loot and yeah, could supply you with what you need to win. In this house particular, I did get very lucky and found a blue pump, a gold deagle, a gold infantry rifle, and finally a gold combat shotgun. Here is a good and safe material farming strategy that I would like to share with you guys. Farming these pillars on the bottom do give great materials, and they are really safe since you're pretty much like under the ground. And also I was lucky enough to find a mech. And smashing up Happy Hamlet with a mech is definitely a very good strategy for getting fast materials. Oh yes, and did I mention Happy Hamlet was also unlooted, so I got all of this loot on top of the amazing loot I already had. And just to top off all the good loot, I actually found a minigun. Now, exiting this building, I actually did run into a bit of trouble. At first I thought I started hearing things, but then I realized that there's actually a person here. So I started building once I saw him, and yeah, we got in a little bit of a build fight. Yep, and even though it was quite a close one, I got him in the end with my minigun. And as the storm was slowly approaching, I did grab my mech. And I got out of there. While inside the mech, it did end up finding supply drop. And also a heavy sniper, which is pretty cool. And I did feel pretty bad for this guy, but you know, it's happened to me multiple times. It's just karma. My mech actually did end up blowing up and hitting me for quite a bit of damage, which did hurt. I'm gonna be honest, if it wasn't for this trap I literally placed right here, this guy totally would have killed me. It was pretty unlucky for him, but yeah, he should have watched what he was doing, I guess. 2 campfires can always do the job of healing pretty well. I did end up finding a supply drop, which had a gold scar. Another quick tip, always use the minigun to scare. Even if you don't think you're going to do any damage, it's still a very good, like, scaring weapon. This circle did have to make us reposition, so yeah, it was kind of a wonky fight. Once again, I pulled out my minigun and just scared the crap out of this guy. I absolutely destroyed him here. I really was trying to go for like a cool trap where a pickaxe killed this guy, but he just would not. Once again, I was just trying to trap this guy in, but he started getting me low. So, you know, I realized the best thing I could do is probably just keep building up, mini up. And then the end of this one actually was pretty scary. He almost won. I choked so hard and missed so many shots. I was just so scared, and yep, but I did win. Now here is the 5th and final location drop of this video, which is going to be the little factories up of Junction. When doing this drop, I always do recommend to look to your side and see if anybody is going to junk, so that if you are in the circle, you can go ahead and loot junk too. And once again here, guys, I still can't believe it. 3 out of 5 games, another minigun from a chest. As you can see, teabagging, I was like really happy. Now once you are done looting this place, you want to go straight up to the little, I guess you call it racetrack here. There are usually hoverboards that spawn, and there's a bit of loot too. Now here's another cool but kind of toxic strategy. If you do see people that landed at junk, you can start destroying the hoverboards if there are more than one, just so that they will not have like a form of transportation and might die in the storm. Okay, I'm going to get this death over with. I pretty much just used the hoverboard to get all the way into the circle. I got in this mech and this guy challenged me, and yeah, I killed him and he killed me at the same time.